Call the ABC Subcommittee to order. Roll call, please.
Senator McPike, Senator Spruill,
Yes.
Senator Reeves, Senator Cosgrove, Senator Mason.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. So we have Mr. Bell's Senate Bill 254, which had some late-breaking amendments. Last subcommittee, we went to full just to make sure they're fully vetted and everyone's on board. We're coming back to the ABC to walk through them thoroughly and make sure everybody in the group has seen them, agreed to them, and or has at least acknowledged them and has the opportunity to comment on them. Senator Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There is I believe it's amendment in nature substitute. If I could ask the committee to move the substitute.
Second. All in favor of the substitute, say aye.
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 Mr. Chairman, thank you and the committee. And again, thank you for allowing me to come back. Our goal was to try to make this bill better. We had this bill, as you know, in effect, and the sunset went away. It was really a great lifeline, important to our small business restaurants. Then we had a working group look at this, and many different stakeholders who looked at it to try to come up with ways to make it better. And even as of last week, we had some late-breaking amendments, which frankly even confused me because I was confused about which one had submitted them because they were so last minute. Over the past week since then, we've gone back, and yesterday I actually had ABC in my office. We went over everything again, and I believe that we have satisfied them. I will tell you that the last three amendments that came forth, one was to take the hour of delivery back to 12 p.m. versus 11 p.m. The working group had looked at this pretty extensively, and we decided not to make that change because if a delivery were being made and they couldn't complete the delivery for whatever reason, perhaps the person was not there with ID, etc., then they need to have the ability to go back to the restaurant to destroy that alcoholic beverage. So they needed that hour of time to do that. The other two suggested changes that we looked at from last week were one was in regards to what we call a safe harbor, so you can't deliver to a correctional facility, a P.O. box, a locker, etc. And the last one was a training issue, trying to specify how the training would be conducted. Talking with ABC yesterday, we put language in here that will allow them to develop regulations and to oversee this as need. We felt both of those are worthy, but putting it specifically in the code would really box them in. Okay. And if they needed to change training or to address something, it would be best done through ABC's management, not through the code. So giving ABC the ability to do their job, we thought was the best way to do that. And with that being said, we feel like we have addressed the concerns that have been brought forth, and this reflects the good work of everybody participated in the working group. I thank the partnership. My hope is we have peace in the valley. Again, we didn't enact all of the changes from last week because the working group and what we knew it would cause other problems. So we felt like this is the best way to address those issues. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions that you or the committee might have.
Any questions for Senator Bell? So, Mr. May, would you, and Mr. Daniel, would you mind coming up just so we can kind of, I'd like Mr. May to take them a little more deliberately than we normally would since some of them came to the game a little later than we'd like. So if Mr. May, if you'd take us through us, and we'll have the opportunity, we'll have ABC, we'll have the patron and the committee have the opportunity to look at them individually. I'd appreciate it very much, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the first change that we made is about who is liable for certain conduct. So the decision was we had to make a decision around when does liability switch from the restaurant who's selling the drink to the person who's delivering the alcohol. It seems like the group has set now on language that says that the third
line
party
item for us for
what's that
line item, sir?
Yeah, I can get you to a line.
Sorry, just thought we'd follow along and
Sure. This bill keeps getting longer and longer.
Mm-hmm. You get all the long ones, Mr. Mayor.
Let's see. All right, so you can look at, for instance, line 1207. This is going to be in two separate places because the code section is repeated, but 1207 will show you an example of this. And the way that it would read with the amendment would basically say that the licensee performing the delivery shall be liable for any administrative violations committed during transport through completion of the delivery. The folks were more satisfied with that language. Before it just said during the delivery, but there was some concern about whether the person delivering the alcohol would be liable for things such as the container wasn't sealed properly from the restaurant, which I don't think the intent was to make them. But maybe it is. I don't know. They're satisfied with this language, and that's what we have now.
All right, thank you, sir.
Let's see. The next change is really about barrier crimes. So look at lines 1275 to 1276. What we're talking about here is delivery personnel of a third-party delivery licensee. So these are the people who are actually delivering the alcoholic beverages to consumers. There's a provision in there regarding barrier crimes, making sure that the licensee looks at whether these delivery personnel have been convicted of certain offenses in the past. The change that the bill makes is it scraps two of the items that we had formerly mentioned as barrier crimes, which was using a vehicle to commit a felony or committing a crime of moral turpitude. So the licensees wanted a little bit more assurance on what crimes specifically they need to be looking for. There's a little bit of debate, I guess, about what a crime of moral turpitude is. So instead of those, what we did was we list out 5 specific crimes, which is what you see on line 1276, which is 4.1304, sale of alcohol to a minor. The second one is 18.236.1, involuntary manslaughter while driving under the influence. The next is 18.251.4, serious bodily injury while driving under the influence. The next is 18.2-95, grand larceny. And the last is 46.2-894, which is the duty to stop if you kill or injure another person or damage personal property.
Chairman,
Senator Reeves.
18.2-357, what is that? You-
Sex trafficking? I'm being told it's sex trafficking. We did not, that was in the original bill, nothing that we changed.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, 357, 357.1. Oh, yeah, I did skip that one. That's the trafficking, sorry. That is new.
Thank you, sir. Any questions about those two?
And Mr. Chair, there's one more.
May?
If you want me to pause, I can.
No, no, you're good.
Okay.
Keep going. Thank you. I just want
And then the fourth enactment at the very end of the bill, this is where we added in the requirement that ABC basically monitor how this bill is being implemented and really look for, one, any difficulties that the third-party delivery licensees are having in determining locations that they're able to deliver to. And also in looking at the monitoring the adequacy of the education and training programs. And then it directs ABC to, if necessary, promulgate regulations to address any difficulties they identify in these areas.
Any questions for Mr. May on the amendments? Mr. Daniel, any thoughts, sir?
No, sir. No, we don't have, I mean, we agree with the amendments. We've been involved with them. The first series of amendments may seem like they were changes to what the working group had come up with, but the truth of the matter is, we knew there would be some continuing discussion about moral turpitude because yeah, there were literally, when we printed out the sections where it showed up, I mean, it was like 4 or 5 pages. So trying to narrow that down to the things that were more applicable to the activity that the third-party licensees are undertaking made a lot of sense, and it was sort of a continuing discussion by the work group. The fourth enactment clause are things, frankly, I hope we would be doing anyway with respect to any new program. So we're fine with that and happy to include that in any commentary we provide back to you all during the course of the two-year program. So I want to thank Senator Bell for getting us together and bringing all these different interests and amendments to conclusion. So I think, Mr. Chairman, from ABC perspective, we are good to go and look forward to implementing what you all enact.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Yeah, barrier crimes cause us all kinds of problems, the way we've handled those over the years around here, don't they? All right, thank you, Mr. Daniel. Ms. Bell, anything you'd like to add?
Just thank everyone from ABC for working with us. I know this has been a long process. For all the stakeholders and people who've come forward, whenever you try to do something that's complicated, it's hard. You know, a lot of people are involved. I appreciate that, and I thank the committee. We thought we were ready last week. I apologize. I don't want to impose on your time, but I do believe that this extra week allowed us to make the bill better, and I appreciate that patience. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You got it. So, members of the audience, we took testimony last week, but it just head nods, comments, thoughts in support of the amendments. Ms. Boykin, good. Thumbs up. Opposition to the amendments and the bill. You want 1 minute? 1 minute. Come give him 1 minute. I want to give you the chance to be heard. You show up, you participate, you're here. I want to give you the chance to be heard.
I have no problem with them, and they're technical more than they are anything else. I get that. The things that some of us in the restaurant business were concerned about weren't addressed, and that was simply the 16 ounce and the unlimited amount of alcohol and the type of container and the ability to put it in a car. And those weren't addressed, but the work group seems to be okay with it. The ABC seems to think that they can enforce it. I'm just one guy. So that's my minute.
Well, I wanted to give you one guy a chance to speak. So, understood the technical amendments against the content of the bill.
Move approval.
There's been a motion to approve the bill as amended. We'll adopt the amendments in full committee and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Mr. Cosgrove's proxy.
Mr. Chair, that's ayes 4, noes 0.
Ayes 4, no 0, so we'll move it on to full committee this go round. Thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks for everyone working together to put these amendments together, and thanks to the patron. And you too, Mr. May. Thanks always to you.